I have no extraordinary business. I have no notices of motion. So I now want to move to block off a 216 submission. And councillors, we have the report there under item 11.
I'll move it, Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Linda will move it and
I'll second it.
Councillor George will second it. I want to open the discussion, if I might, with just some opening comments, and in particular I want to acknowledge those who are present here. My opening views are not dissimilar to those expressed by Councillor Penny H. And these views are given to those in particular here out of a sense of frustration, which I think you feel. And those who may be watching this, this telecast here today. The sense of frustration is that this is the public consultation you're having when you're not having a public consultation, quite frankly. This should be in Parliament. And it has been abrogated and sent down to local government for our input, but we are handcuffed because we are not the licence holders or the grantors. Yeah. And so I want to firstly acknowledge you on the basis you have no other port to call it. We're it. And so you've all turned up here today with high expectation, and I suspect many around this table, if not all, either accept all of what you say or a good part of what you say. And that's in particular if you reflect on the fact that our outstanding brand overseas, aside from the fact we're present world champions of rugby in this world and hopefully will be continuing after Sunday, but our outstanding brand is 100% pure. And I would have thought, I know the government have a mandate and this is their sovereign power, but to basically send this off to us, for us to deal with a public consultation on this issue and then give us no powers with it, for me is not a very satisfactory situation, doesn't reflect well on our governmental relationship and partnership. And so that has a direct bearing on what I think I can do and what I will support in this chamber today. And there have been various views about what I thought and what I don't thought in one of the fish and chip wrappers in the weekend. And I don't accept that view, and they have misrepresented my view, quite frankly. I totally support our submission. And this is the third time we've made the submission. First time it was ignored. The second time there was a small change in terms of a concession around the extent of the grant. But by and large, there is an element of it being something of lip service to the public of this country, and I don't use that word advisedly. We're going to have public submissions, we should have public submissions. Don't depend on local government to actually back you out of the corner. So I support our submission, but I cannot support, because we are the grant holders, we are not the grant holders, taken an ultimate position of saying stop, full stop. If I felt that it would do any good at all, then I would back that position. But I am not going to. Now, I hope you understand that and get a sense of the fact that I support a lot of what's said, and the statement that I made about the issues that are covered within our submission are pretty clear. But if they gave us a little bit more say and a sharing of the authority or delegations in here, then I suspect that things might be a little bit different. But I am not about symbolic gestures. I've been the mayor of the city for 5 years, and I've tried to lead this city in a way where we don't waste time on things we can't seriously impact on. And you've seen us be very strong in some environmental issues, for example, in particular around public transport, and we've talked a bit about climate change and carbon discharge, and we are dead serious about those carbon discharge targets, and we are moving towards them. But there are some things and some battles where I sense that ultimately the power that be is not listening at all, and this is one of them. So, you know, I again just want to acknowledge those that are present here today and accept that in democracy, there will be differing views on things as we go forward. But I did not want any misunderstanding about what I felt about this process, and secondly, where I felt that I would be as the leader of this chamber and where we should be as a council. Now, of course, that just opens things up. Councillors, to you all. Now, this is our third year of debate on this, and I want to give you clear direction as to how I think this should go today. Now, I do understand that there is something coming out of the blocks, and so what I wanted to do was to suggest this way. 3 speak for and 3 speak against, and then call it. All right? I really, councillors, look, this has gone on for a long, long time. So, you know, I'm saying we've been down this track. I think people's views on it are reasonably fair, and it gives the community an opportunity to hear the differing views in the chamber. One, I hope that everyone agrees with submission, and then secondly, that what I suspect is coming out of the blocks, I haven't seen it yet, but something with an added sting to the tail. You know, people will have their say on that. So I want to have 3 votes, 3 speakers for and 3 speakers against, and then we'll call it. All right, now I want you to abide by that. Okay, now, Councillor Cathy, you've got something.
Yep.
Right, just to, now Councillor Cathy, you reflected on Deputy Mayor Buck's correspondence. Look, if she sent it, I haven't got it yet. No one's received it. So, look, as soon as she gets it, I'll make sure it's circulated. Right, now I've, Councillor Cathy, you want to put something up here, so I think we need to just clear the decks and get everything in front of us. Right.
Can we ask questions?
Yes, very good point. But I don't want these questions to go on for an ever and ever. Me and Councillor, hang on, Councillor George, hang on. It's been moved and seconded. So we have got a live debate. Now, I don't want a whole range of questions because, as I say, we've been going on with this for about 3 years now. So, Councillor Chris, I'll give you latitude to ask one question, and then I want us to just get on with the debate.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Some of the submitters have highlighted some gaps in the submission. I've seen some gaps in the submission as well. This is the opportunity for the governing body to fill those gaps. So my questions to the staff that have drafted this submission on our behalf. One of the submitters highlighted the gap of there being a complete lack of reference to the impact on climate change of the continued reliance on fossil fuels. Can I have some explanation as to did that cross the minds of the drafters? Why is it absent? Is there a place to have that there? And I'm saying there is. Also, there is the economic value of Snapper 8, which is a complete overlay of the area. I can't see any strong reference to that, Mr. Mayor. So just an answer on why we haven't referenced the economic value to the economy, to Auckland's economy of Snapper 8. I understand it's some 1,300 tonnes. And also, we haven't highlighted the reputational risk to us as a region, Auckland or nationally, but our case is in that of Auckland. If there was to be a catastrophe, as has been conveyed, and where does that sit with our overarching Auckland plan aspirations to be a city which is not just one that...
Point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, no.
Point of
it's
order.
a third and final
Point of order.
question.
Yes.
You allocated one question to Councillor Darby. He's now up to his third question. Well, I'm assuming that you're going to give us all that kind of latitude.
No, look, Councillor Quacks, I'm waiting for... I mean, I was listening too, and I think that he's sort of getting to the nub of the single question. So you're close to the nub of that question, Councillor Darby?
To finish off, the final one is, what does this have on the tourism economy of Auckland that we hang our hat on? So there's 3 areas there that, Mr Mayor, I'd like those to be explored and to be part of the submission. That's why I'm putting them on the table here.
Right. Jacques.
Morning, councillors. Essentially, we took the approach of last year's submission. The council took a certain position, and we essentially rolled over that same position, given that the issues are essentially the same. Yes, of course, these matters can be included in the submission.
Can we make, okay, now I'm just some direction here, please. So it came out, whose committee does it come out again?
It came out of regional strategy and policy.
But B gives you the,
Council-
B gives you
B,
the ability
let's have a look
to
at B.
change the,
Delegated authority of the approved file movement.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
yes.
Look, I can work with you guys to make sure the wording's right. I mean, I
Well-
want, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's much better to do that than try and redraft this whole thing here.
Absolutely.
Well,
Councillor
Mr Mayor, you know, have a bit of a concern about that because...
Councillor George, are you the chair?
Well, I'm the chair.
Well, then why don't you make it me and you?
Sorry?
Why shouldn't it be me and you?
Okay.
There you go. That's
But
the
we have
exact
that, we have that major amendment which would change the whole complexion
Yeah,
of this.
yeah, no, we're going to vote on
If
that,
it
Councillor
goes
George.
through.
Okay.
So, just, Councillor Chris, you okay with that?
I trust you in that regard, Mr Mayor.
Good on you. Okay, right, now let's just go back to this here. Okay, so, so we've got now I've been looking at this, and I'm prepared to read it in a way that it's not a direct negative. All right? It's a very close call. But I'm prepared to read it in a way that's a direct negative, so we would put that as an amendment first. Right, now, and the reason why I can read it that way is because we could still send the submission with that. All right? Okay? Now, that's what you could do. Now, whether I support that is another thing altogether. Okay. Okay, so, right, now I've got a batting line-up here. The batting line-up goes, now I've got Councillor Cathy, Councillor Linda, Councillor John, Councillor Chris, and I don't know whether you want to speak?
Yes.
You do. Councillor Penny W. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 4s first. And I think that's appropriate. That's the 4s to the major submission, and I guess I'm presuming that these 4s will be speaking against the amendment. Right, so I've got, I'm presuming here also, so you need to indicate, Councillor John, you want to speak?
Yes, please.
Right, now remember, I'm going to take, I think you guys are going to fail on this test badly. I was going to take 3, 4 and 3 against.
It's up to you.
3, 4 and 3 against. Now you guys can either decide, because once we've gone through 3, 4 and then 3 against, if someone calls it to speak 4 again, then we're into it. And you'll have the whole 20 of us up on our feet, and it'll go through to 4 this afternoon. So the challenge is for you now. I'll pick, for the 4s, I'm going to pick 3 4s first. All right? And so the first one I've got here is Councillor Linda, then I'm going to go Councillor Penny, and does anyone else want to speak 4?
Yeah, well,
Councillor George. Okay, so Councillor Linda first.
Oh, yeah, good team,
Thank you, Mr Chairman. And just to dispel any doubt about yesterday's newspaper that I'm a Len supporter,
yeah, get that out.
my view of this has been, you know, it's been voted on before. It's got nothing to do with anybody around this table. It's my own view. So, notwithstanding, I thought that what you said was very good, Mr Mayor. I think for me, quite rightly, people came to us last time because in our first submission to the block offer process, the government didn't respond to our comments. So people were very concerned that we'd send a submission and then there'd be no response at all. But last time when we put the submission in, there was a change, and I'm heartened by that. I think a sensible, strong-worded submission such as this, there are some really strong words in this submission that talk about significant risks from offshore oil and gas exploration. Talks about the likelihood being low, but the consequence of a blowout being having significant adverse impacts